That's right. Welcome back, everyone. So here, joined by Rich and Johnny, and we're about to get ready for our last match of the day. We're shifting gears. We're going back to the upper bracket final, and we're about to find out which team will be waiting in the grand finals tomorrow, and which team has to fight it out against Nightmare in the lower bracket. So let's dive into this one. Starting with Geekay. They were the top dog of the NA region. They brought their own flavor as well. We saw a lot of different looks. They were playing around a little bit, but I think one thing that we just keep on mentioning is, of course, the backline, right? We chatted so much about the Lifeweaver and Baptiste backline, but there's a plethora of good things to say about literally every player on this squad, Rich.
There really is. I mean, this is just a team. I mentioned it, you know, when we came to EMEA. It's one of those well-oiled machines. Everything about this team just soars to its peak. And this between, you know, this match between Team Liquid and Geekay, it would be, I feel, Geekay's really match to lose. They are just so dominant. I think there's going to be a lot of work that Team Liquid's going to need to do, and I know Johnny will touch on that. But realistically, the DPS line, I'm looking at both Lethal and Maimon and how they're going to also contribute, because we talk a lot about the support line and, you know, what they're going to bring to the table. But it makes me wonder what's going to happen with even someone like Rocket saying from that previous interview, oh yeah, like the half of the damage on a Tracer, like you feel those kinds of things. Like maybe it's some kind of adjustment that might happen, or what they observe from patch changes, because maybe even Johnny said it before, NA Brain patch comes through, let's change some things up.
I love that we set the patch changes up, and when I say we, I really mean Johnny, with like, we're never going to see Bastion, like these changes will happen.
And then there was Bastion. Then there was Bastion. Doesn't matter. She had to hit that note. She had to hit that note. Doesn't matter. It visibly came out. We have to call
the
it.
moment go, I slip up, Zoe. It's.
Unless we get paid to point out whenever someone slips. I get paid to do that.
3 years ago. Anyway, sorry. Anyway.
I love living in the past, though. But let's look ahead, shall we? What do you want to see from Liquid? Since obviously a slight change in the meta here. The teams have faced off against each other in, what was that, week 3 or week 4? That was a 5-map series. Can they play this close again? Do you want to see changes? Specifically looking at the backline here and what we're going to see from RuPaul and Vega.
I mean, Rich said it very eloquently, where I was like, maybe you're just NA go play Tracer, and they're just like, oh, half a damage. I'm in. Like, maybe that's just the meta now, because like I said with SSG, who just got dominated 3-0, I was like, whoa, they're on the way up. You know, I love the compositions they're playing, and the same applies for Team Liquid. I've been loving this Brig BAP look for them. It feels like RuPaul is back on his signature hero that helped him win the Overwatch League in 2023 with Florida Mayhem. And they just look like they're on the same page. Like, they really found something. Now, are we going to see more of that? Or are we going to see a pivot in North America to more Lucio Kiriko compositions? I don't think if both teams mirrored Lucio Kiriko in this matchup, that would favor Team Liquid. I think Admiral and Ultraviolet would be very happy on the side of GK if that was the case. Are we going to see BAP Lifeweaver? No one has had an answer to that backline yet. Is it even viable in this patch in North America? We'll have to see. I don't have the answers for you, but what I know is going to be the case is that it's going to be a gigabanger. So if I don't know if something is the case, so I don't know if you can fault me for it, but I'm just being vulnerable here.
You can.
I love that. You know what? I love you being vulnerable. We're talking feelings. Everything is okay. This is a safe space-ish, kinda. So, yeah, thank you both so much for letting me pick your brain. We are getting ready for our last series of the day. And on the mics for this one, we're going to have Avril and Jaws. Is that Javril or Avos? I'm not sure. The second sounds quite fancy, doesn't it?
Shambles.
No way.
I think Javril works a little better. I didn't even know how to pronounce the second one. Avoid?
So we gotta avoid that one a little bit.
Yeah,
so I think Javril maybe.
Is that the boogeyman?
That, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We've had many a stray, because me and Johnny are the Swedish fish. So what's the parent name? Is it just Javril?
I'll take it.
Kiwi, so
that's
I don't
not
know.
bad.
No, Wallaby's Australian. I don't know. Regardless, anyway, we're getting too far off topic. Geekay versus Team Liquid. Last time they faced Avril, Mat 5 banger, like straight up. It was an extreme nail biter. Liquid wanted to try and upset Geekay and take that coveted like lossless stage 2 out of their hands. But Geekay, they're just meta resilient and patch resilient as well. How do you feel?
Yeah. It's a long time ago. The thing is, I think the meta has evolved. We've progressed further throughout the weeks, but more importantly, we're onto new patches on. Yes, okay, the new patch only had a single week to sort of work our way through it. It does seem like across the different regions, most teams have basically stuck to the guns. Whatever they were good on Season 16 and end of Season 16, they're playing that again here in Season 17. There's just not enough time to really move along too much. Really, like Rocket said, big winner is on the Tracer, and guess who's playing Tracer on the other side of on the Liquid side? It's Zera, who's just ridiculous. I mean, this guy, to me, has basically leveled up to and maybe even beyond where Sugar Free was. We saw how good Sugar Free in the last series was, despite losing. You get Zera on that new Season 17 Tracer, things could get very dirty in the lobby.
This isn't a mistake either. Geekay would normally ban first here as they get map selection, but they let Team Liquid go for a ban first. And Team Liquid decided, okay, we're going to ban Moira, Geekay, going to restore with Surgeon. How do you feel about that? This has only happened a few times. Yeah. It started with Unter on SSG, letting another team do it, but like, Geekay letting TL ban first here seems a little strange.
Well, it's funny because Jimbin actually did a stream earlier where he talked about this, because Crazy Raccoon also deferred a lot of bans to T1 in the Korea Grand Final, and kind of just chalked it up to the fact that if you believe you have a similar playstyle to the other team, it's sometimes okay to just defer the ban over to see what they do. Maybe they waste the ban for you, see what direction they want to take things in, and you can respond and sort of counter ban them as, you know, as the secondary ban. But I do think that Moira is not an actual real ban. To me, this says that neither team really wanted to go first here. So TL just kind of throw away their ban. I do not believe Moira's been. Yes, I understand Season 17 Moira did get a bit of a buff. We saw the tiniest amount of Moira, I think, out of last week, but it wasn't. But it wasn't like, I think the Moira that we saw last week is a bit of a joke. I can't even remember who played it. Like, was just that flippant. So like, I'm not even really considering Moira to be a real hero in the meta. To me, that's definitely going to be a throwaway ban. At most, it's a support protect. At most.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's quite interesting. Yeah, just kind of baiting, coaxing another team into banning something, and then, hey, you can't use that ban later, so even if we do lose a map, like, we can go to somewhere that maybe that pick is better on. Yeah, Moira is a bit of a weird one, though. I think Red X, you know, have been playing it a little bit. Like, people are playing it on control. Like you said, sparingly. Moira's still not that good, even though she did get a small sustain buff. Not a big fan of sustain buffs, but come on, it's Moira. Like, there ain't no way. Every single time we saw Moira last week, it's like, okay, the Tracer or the Soj or somebody has forced the shift, and as soon as Fade is down, yeah, the Moira dies instantly.
The Sojin ban is a lot more impactful here. It means we're going to be playing either the Cass or towards the Freya. Probably leaning more to the Cass, just looking over to these two teams. The preference has been leaning on the Cass side. I think Lethal is the one that probably prefers Sojin a little bit more. So with that out of the picture, Orisa is going to be a big one here. But for Kuffa specifically, probably more towards the Hazard. I think his specialty is going to be the Hazard.
For sure.
Look for the potential of the Beaver comp coming through as well, the Life Weaver BAP, where you really want to play that one with the Hazard when appropriate.
Yeah, Lethal's been loving picking up Cassidy. Even though saw a little bit of Ashe as well, which is a big surprise to me. Didn't stick on it for too long, as Cass is just stronger at this moment in time. We'll have to see what the DPS want to pivot to. My Moan and Geekay as well. I spoke at the very beginning here and said, you know, meta-resistant, patch-resistant. My Moan has been flexing onto things like Sombra too, which teams have honestly struggled against.
You know what? I do think, you know, maybe on the other side, the Ball, Sombra potentially, you mentioned it. When we do see the BAP Life Weaver, I do believe Ball is a fantastic potential counter to that composition. It does seem like going to be rolling through on the Ball. Kuffa even locking in for this Malga. My Moan is, by the way, one of the few DPSs in NA that has a lot of experience on this Symmetra and might actually play through the Symmetra, but realizing how strong Tracer is on the patch, how good Tracer is on this map, he's going to go over to Tracer. The Malga is a definite lock-in.
Malga versus Ball, and, well, RuPaul takes the first blood. My Moan down. Kunai to the dome. Yeah, how do you feel about this Malga matchup against the Wrecking Ball? I mean, the Wrecking Ball is going to be running all around you, of course, but might be tougher in Fate to get a lot of value here, considering how the Malga comps stick and play together.
Malga did get a bit of a buff on Season 17, so the potential for Malga to maybe find a win here has increased a little bit. Do note, though, that with the global healing there from the DPS passive, Malga is still going to be impacted by that. Might be resistant a little bit from his passive being buffed. Zero taking down Lethal already as 5v4.
Geekay end up losing Lethal, which is really bad considering Wrecking Ball exists. Same with that Tracer. Lethal switching over to maybe even a Sombra here, as Team Liquid just holding down the fort right now. Yeah, it looks like Lethal's actually going to stick on this. I thought maybe a translocator out to spawn, or close to the spawn door and then a switch, but okay, this is a very interesting comp, just pure counter the ball.
It's very hard for GK to be able to take high ground as well. I can see how floaty tree can be. The Sombra is going to have additional value off the ball and also fighting into tree, but a double bolt, it's going to lamp the protection on the opposite side.
Yeah, Chiz Tree still has to be a little bit careful there, hit by the virus, but man, classic Mauga moment and Wrecking Ball moment on this point. Like, no one dies. Like, okay, there's one pick. Okay, it's not going to result in much, guys. It's going to be another 10 minutes before the fight is finished. Kuffer and Vega do end up trading. Infected pretty low, but yeah, Team Liquid, to put it into, you know, better words, they're kind of rolling away with this.
I don't see how GK are going to be able to really reach street, which is where you start to see the swaps coming on through the Mauga on this map. Just too much high ground to play through with no sim TP to help you out. Too hard to get access. Kuffer now moving over towards the signature on Hazard. Playing to the ball. A few traps, I think, with the wall into Infected could be on play.
Oh, Lethal, you saw him throw out Translocator there, but it didn't actually end up finishing the cast. So got caught out by Infected. A couple extra shots there from Team Liquid. Here comes the rush on the point. Kuffer just switching, obviously no access to an ultimate. And that window just bowled through. I mean, this is a flattening of GK right now. As Team Liquid just pure control of this game.
He had to beat on low HP there, but the response is there from Team Liquid. Note, by the way, that this got late enough. The Team Liquid got all 5 ults and didn't have to use any of them until the last fight. This is going to be 100-0.
Yeah, 100-0. This is easy, too easy for Team Liquid. Wow, that's a stop.
I'm going to say this as well. Unfortunately, this is just the wrong round for GK to pull through the Mauga. I think saving it for University is a better call. You want flat maps for the Mauga value to come on through. And Mauga is a hero that we did see come through a decent amount in Korea. But having to Symmetra is important as well. The Sombra, not too sure I'm fully convinced by that one. I know it has value versus the ball, value versus the Freya, but no way to potentially follow up, especially if they're on the high ground. Like, you can get up there as a Sombra, you can get a hack on there, but your Tracer can't help you, your Mauga can't help you. It's very hard to follow up on these type of plays. So now that we are in University, this is where running back the Mauga has a lot more value. So I'm a little surprised they even decided to go Mauga on round 1. See if they can make it work this time around.
Bro, they got 1 kill last round. 1 singular kill for Geekay. All right, Mauga versus the Orisa now. RuPaul, like you mentioned at the top of the show, back on one of his heroes that really made his name on and helped him win the Overwatch League. Was that bad? So Team Liquid are going to feel very confident in this matchup. Infected does die, though, and a nice little wraparound here from Kuffer, but a little bit too deep. Oof, and more unfortunately put to sleep is Team Liquid. They're going to be able to finish this one off a tree. A nice double dink there onto Admiral and UV.
Strong start from Team Liquid. Multiple different looks here as well. Playing the ball for City Center. Moving to the Orisa, plus in the cast. A couple of different heroes, but working out strong. As Vega sets up the first opening kills for Team Liquid, and GK still yet to find any momentum here.
Friendly little Tracer duel there with my moan and Sarah. High ground control is going to be nice, but it looks like Geekay are just going to run through the mini health back room, or at least try to. Going to have a tough time actually taking down this backline now. RuPaul has done so much damage and healing that he's got window already. He's only a couple of percentage points away. I mean, this is such an easy fight win from this angle right now. I mean, look at Geekay. They're trying to wrap on somebody, but it's physically impossible. Although Infected caught off guard completely. A good little pick there onto Infected is going to be good for 1 for Geekay. And they're just going to wait out this window. Zera also caught off guard as Team Liquid lose 2.
He was so far ahead of the team, and look at where Infected died. When you see RuPaul's POV, there's no chance he can help at all. Vegas standing next to RuPaul, both your supports are completely separated from your tank. Window comes through onto the point, but realistically, no targets, no vision there. UV also found Window around the same time. Kuffer now low.
Good spear. Good sound barrier as well. Okay, he's going to stop that high noon from doing sustainable damage. Sustained damage on the Mauga, sorry. Nice little high noon from Lethal though, and my Mo, 2 ults there thrown in by Geekay. Make that a 3rd actually with that sound barrier, and they do end up winning the fight. As, Ultraviolet puts his name on the board.
Double supports down early for Team Liquid, so when the numbers start getting low, that's just going to favor GK the longer that goes on. As the dueling Dead Ice come through, Cross Bombs thrown in play as well. Cage is taking a long time for Kuffer to build. He just hasn't had the opportunity defying the damage. It's been slow going for Cover, being bullied out on this Malga time and time again, but at least they're about to flip over the lead. 48% both sides, as UV this time has the lead on the window.
Zera forced to hit an early recall there. Cover so close to this cage. Terra Surge is online too for Infected as they find a kill onto Ultraviolet. Terra Surge connects with a couple, brings them in, and Infected dominant in the front line as Team Liquid get the cap.
We talk about Cover's struggles on the Malga so far. He's the first target, super low. Previously, Admiral saved him with the beat, and that was what kept GK in the game, but no beat available having already been used. Cover, Windows finally online, but just dies so quickly. As Team Liquid to get this clean up, and UV no opportunity despite having the lead on the window to find an advantage for GK. Very close second round here, but Team Liquid still in the lead in terms of the 1-0. First window down.
Quick dodge to the window though for Geekay. They got a window of their own and this cage alongside it too. Team Liquid know now to keep their distance. Going to be tracking these ults pretty wisely. Pretty nice window spot here as well, as Infected takes a lot of damage, but still a lot of sustain on the side of the Orisa as they get backed off of the point as Geekay try and take this one for free. Nice little clutch slam there from Ruful to keep Infected alive, but Infected getting shot from two angles right now. Maimone and Cuffer, a pincer maneuver on the Orisa takes her down. 65% of building now for Geekay with a cage in hand too. Team Liquid trying to keep themselves in the fight, but no, a stun stomp onto the high noon. A sound barrier thrown in by April as Geekay. That is a lot more ults than maybe they needed, but they get the job done anyway.
Vega dying on 99% there. A little bit of a tragedy. I'd have had the opportunity to maybe turn that fight around one more time, but there is going to be another reset. Team Liquid is still on 90, so within a one fight opportunity, if they do get this flip tree now moving over towards the Freya. And a RuPaul onto the Kiriko as well, finding some value potentially in this final engagement. First up is going to be Deadeye.
Looking for somebody. Oh, Sarah. Nice sound barrier there from Team Liquid. Ended up swapping spaces there. Lamp is going to save Lethal for the time being, as well as that flashbang end up healing the Tracer, hindering the movement for a brief moment. Liquid end up backing up all the way to the point, but Zera unable to join the rest of their team. A 1-for-1 trade there as Lethal also falls. Maimone with the pulse bomb. This is going to be deadly. Final fight territory now for Team Liquid as they try and find this final kill. They've still got control of the point. Maimone ends up sticking to Infected, but it doesn't really matter. Infected's still got a lifeline in that Terra Surge. Ends up slamming people against that wall. As Team Liquid are going to go out to round out this map, you've got to imagine. Cuffer, April dead. Same with Ultraviolet. Vega might be down, but the Orisa stands tall as Infected gets teleported on as RuPaul. He was marked with the healing off with her. As Team Liquid start off the series with a bang. That's a little 2-0 against Geekay.
Much more competitive second round. The first one was the concerning one though, Jake. That was 100-0. You basically had a situation where Liquid got to hold onto all 5 ultimates until the very last fight, but they just get to blow them all in a massive ult advantage fight. Second round, we can start coming on through a better one for the Malga look, but still a struggle for Cuffer. Note how long the cage took to build in there. You also mentioned this, but when the cage finally did come down, low membership alive for the side on Cuffer's team for GK, and Admiral felt the need to drop in the extra beat in there. Vega dies at 99, which actually in hindsight may be worthwhile, because if he had the beat, used it as well, it's not as good of an ult trade for the side of Liquid on their respawn, but it just ends up being, you get the flip, you get the swap, the Freya comes back in, Kiriko on the swap as well, and suddenly, final fight, sound barrier for the tempo, get the flip in there, and the longer the fight goes on, the longer Infected lives on the Orisa. Cuffer can't do the same. A pulse bomb onto a fortified Orisa. The damage just wasn't existing, man. It was like really just a tickle.
It felt like the fight previous to that, right? Where they used sound barrier and cage. A bit of an overinvestment. Dumped their whole ult bank into a fight you'd think they'd be able to win without them. You can see RuPaul here, a TP onto Infect. Nice little Suzu to kill the Orisa. There it is, 15-30 as well. Obviously, a lot of those stats swayed towards that first round as Geekay only picked up a single kill. But still, Team Liquid with a strong start. They did win this map type against Geekay last time they faced in week 4 in the 5-map series. So, you know, don't want to don't want to predict too early. You don't want to be one map handy as we come into the next one. I mean, at the end of the day as well, Geekay giving the ban over, do you think that actually made a difference here?
I think both teams clearly wanted to avoid the first ban. You saw the Mori ban coming through, which I think is a massive throwaway. Even considering the support protect, I don't think you're really that interested in support protecting unless you're GK trying to protect the life with, which I do believe is going to end up coming through probably in the next map. I wouldn't be surprised GK take us immediately to Circuit Royale, King's Row, one of the classic maps where they can absolutely, there it is, bring us to the Life Weaver map immediately. This does mean they do need to protect that Life Weaver with an instant support ban. You can ban away maybe the Kiriko to prevent the Lucio Kiriko type of composition. If you really want to run through BAP Life Weaver the whole time, a ban on Lucio would be really spicy because that just prevents any sort of speed comp coming through from Team Liquid at all, forces them potentially to play over towards the Juno. The Team Liquid response then could end up being towards a Hazard ban. We do know that GK love playing the Hazard specifically with the Life Weaver BAP. So on circuit, probably still viable, but if that's gone, then you're more probably looking over towards the likes of Orisa again for Cuffer, although he might try the Malga one more time. I think Malga with Life Weaver BAP could be interesting. A lot of bailouts for the Malga, so you'll certainly have advantages. And my own potential for Symmetra is definitely big on this map.
Disgusting win rate there off Geekay on Hybrid. Just a cozy 100%. Obviously, these mode win percentages are going to be fairly high. Only 4 maps lost in the regular season for Geekay, but still impressive nonetheless. Push being their weakest mode at only 60% win rate. Small little substitution coming in as well for Team Liquid. So we're seeing Knife.
Yeah, Knife barely gets any playtime. I wonder what this could be for, potentially on the Farah, which is, I think, a decent matchup into Life Weaver BAP. Life Weaver, the BAP can do a lot of damage in response, but Farah is a potential play. We've even seen in Korea T1 like to play sometimes with Farah and a Mercy together, which sounds like a bit of a meme, but I swear to you, it does happen sometimes. Could there be a Knife Symmetra in this? I don't think I've really seen much from Liquid on the Symmetra. I think GK are the Symmetra team if one of them is going to be, so clearly we're not going to really look at Tracer here. Tracer, not the best performer on Circuit Royale, so you know, remove Zero for now and see what Knife brings to the table. Yeah, he actually could be a potential for Knife here too.
They're going to ban first, and like you mentioned too, like they're going to ban support, surely. They don't want that Life Weaver BAP taken away from them, so a Protect ban here is going to be pretty big, and I think Lucio makes a whole bunch of sense, like you alluded to. But what do you think Team Liquid kind of respond with if that support ban comes in and they can't ban a support? Do you focus a tank here? Do you go for a DPS?
Hazard, like I said, is always going to be a strong ban because Hazard is one of the best tanks to play with the Beaver composition. It's kind of what they practice for GK. But on this map, I think even removing that, Malga might be viable one more time. I know they just lost on Malga, but this is a really good Malga map if they really want to go through there. I would hate to see though GK. I would hate to see them sort of, okay, this is another deferred ban. GK really deferred ban one more time, because if they do that, they know the Life Weaver is going to be banned. This doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but the first ban is on Liquid instead, and they ban Life Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's... Yeah, that's what it's saying too. Like, what? Yeah, that makes no sense. Why would you defer the ban again? Okay, Life Weaver ban, so no Life Weaver BAP, which a lot of teams have been relying on Circuit Royale. And if you cast your memories back as well, Geekay stomped Liquid on this map, like stomped. It wasn't really close. It was a 0 point for Team Liquid. Didn't even count first, and Geekay ran in it. So Geekay ended up banning the Tracer.
Which is not relevant this map.
You're not going to be playing Tracer on this map anyway, and then obviously Knife is being subbed in, so yeah, kind of question marks all around.
I'm confused, man.
What?
Tracer doesn't get played on circuit. She doesn't have a lot of value on circuit. You would play Genji anyway.
Yeah, they could.
You had to. This is like, first of all, this is the map you specialize Life Weaver BAP on. You cannot afford to allow Life Weaver to be banned away here, unless you're like wanting. I mean, let me sort of maybe steelman the position for GK a little bit. Maybe what they're really looking for is like, okay, let's put it to circuit. Let's bait them into banning the Life Weaver because they know the other team, Liquid, know that like this is a Life Weaver map. So GK are like, we know they're definitely going to ban the Life Weaver away. We'll make the waste to ban the Life Weaver so that we can play something that's not Life Weaver. But then their own Tracer ban doesn't look particularly strong either. Like, this is just not a particularly good ban. Like, surely you target Knife, right? You know Knife is in. I do believe substitutions happen first before the bans. So you know Knife is in. Go for his hero pool, target the maze. I think Venture's actually good here as well. Venture overall, Korea proved that Venture's actually pretty strong in this meta, so that's a potential target ban. The Tracer's just not it, though. I just don't think the Pharah ban would have even been okay here. The Tracer ban, to me, is maybe even more egregious than letting the Life would be banned.
It seems strange too, because on top of that, they can't ban Tracer any longer in this series. So you're also kind of removing that, like, oh, if we go to Runasapi, Soravasa, like, you know, anything like that, we can't now ban the Tracer. Strange stuff, honestly. Yeah, this new patch is throwing a lot of questions. not even in the bans. Like, what are people picking as well? I saw Bastion as well too in EMEA earlier on today. Don't forget though, new season and the new patch is out right now. Season 17, powered up arcade theme. It's gonna be a fun season, especially with the new hero trial as well. New mythic weapons look sick, and the Diva skin, it's top notch. All I'm saying.
Two collabs in there, G.I. Joe, and then a worst kept secret. I'm sure it's been teased at this point like a million times. It's looking like a possible Nerf collaboration in there as well a little bit later on. The funniest thing about the G.I. Joe collaboration is seeing all the Zoomers on socials be like, I hate to say it, but I don't know G.I. Joe. And it's like, us older heads, I remember G.I. Joe. What do you mean? All these young kids don't know G.I. Joe? Unbelievable.
Okay, I did not watch G.I. Joe when I was a kid. It wasn't really on.
I didn't watch it, but I know about it.
Oh, you sure? Sure.
I watched the movies. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, all I'm
Channing
saying.
Tatum and the Rocker in those.
Bring back the Ewoks from 1980s, bro. Google that. I'm not even that old. Like, it's older than me, but that was a VHS I used to watch when I was a kid. Creepy stuff, actually. Very strange. But yeah, good series. Bring that back. We're talking collabs.
This guy's armor dumping is...
I actually am, because one of the episodes of the Ewoks, I can't remember which one it was, but my god, there is some like old animation is kind of spooky in a weird way, and I don't know how to explain it, like Uncanny Valley type stuff. I don't know, it's freaky, man. I've watched some of it now, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of spooky if you're a child. But anyway, back to the series. Geekay ending up letting Team Liquid ban first, with Lifeweaver now taken off the table. No Alari ban though, and this is what I expect to see from both sides. But Geekay looking like they want to go a little bit quicker. Rocking Zarya.
I thought they were actually going to come through with the Ryan. I was thinking like, but if they're up against the rest of that, might be a little bit rough. But it's going to be the Zarya instead, which the Max Crazy Raccoon special. We see him get subbed in on this map in Korea. He loves bringing up the Zarya. Kuffa taking a page out of their book, potentially. Decent matchup into the Infected Arrest. And as I sort of mentioned here, Venture sneakily good in this meta.
Easy to clean off the high ground as well. All you do is literally just burrow next to the TP. It's like you have to take it. You can't just afford to die here. The micro CC from like the burrow is just kind of crazy.
Yeah. A nice
time against the poke
come through on the Symmetra, which we were questioning, like how much has Team Liquid really played Symmetra, and how much have they played with Knife? Because this stage has been 0 all the way. We haven't seen a lot of Symmetra in general from Team Liquid. It's mainly been GK, and GK walking on forward right now. Very strong brawl composition.
I love this Venture, man. Look at it. You just force the entire team to give up Statue and TP. They're going to continue, but goodbye Knife Bang, goodbye Vega. A double kill for Mimone. Honestly, my goat on the Venture right now ends up forcing Knife and Vega to TP away Avril, and then they TP back and Drill Dash off the map. See you later. That'll be first point for Geekay.
Another nade coming through for Knife. I think the one thing, if I was to argue in favor of the Tracer ban a little bit, it just means that Knife can't go to one of his better heroes. But again, I think he'd rather go to the Genji here if he was going to have to move over to something, because you don't want to necessarily play the Sim into the Venture anymore. I talked about this on last week's broadcast, where we started noticing the Venture as a possible counter to the Sim compositions. GK have been doing their homework, and Knife understands no more Sim to be played through.
Good wall from Knife there. A window on the payload. That's pretty scary, but Knife snipes Mimone through a very awkward angle window. Now has to deal with these flankers coming in from Geekay, but it's all good. Still has the block. That should be the hold, at least for the time being.
Makes off already finding value. You shoot the fadeaway right click there from Knife. He goes to the ice block, and then the wall to cut off Kuffa. There's a bit of resistance that Team Liquid has been able to put up against GK, who are close to the ultimate, some reasonable ones coming through, and now the Malgas. I sort of mentioned in the pre-show before the map too, this is a pretty damn good Malga map, and they actually will play a Moira. Again, Moira did get buffed here, but is a Lucio Moira really gonna be the winning choice here for GK?
Dude, we're back on like sustained comp. Lethal on the Reaper as well. Basically just shoot the ramp, Tectonic Shock here for my mode. Kind of dominating Infected, I'm going to be real, but that lamp from RuPaul just doing the most to help the front line. Soundbite from Apple didn't end up connecting, and without Team Liquid's, it was going to be all over. Although, wait, what? Knife kills both the back. Wait, what?
How was he doing this?
How did Knife just kill 3 in the back line? What? That should not happen if you're Geekay there. You win that fight hands down, and Knife just kills 3.
Like I'm saying, brother, I think the main ban could have been a pretty decent one. It's one of his good picks on Knife. Very wide hero pool and may potentially an amazing choice on this map, as we've seen previous teams play a lot of it. This GK comp does remind me a decent amount of where the Dallas and Stockholm meta were last year. Combination of the Venture Malga plus the Reaper coming on in.
Oh, what a bowler shot. My Moan too high up in the air to get the burrows. The bowler shot connects and an easy kill onto the Venture. Infected's still got this Annihilation as well. He's going to need to use it. My Moan now over to the Sombra of all things too. Knife just dominating on the Mei. These walls have been just clinical.
Yeah. I think Kuffer just didn't want the Zarya pick anymore once Infected swapped over towards the Ram, so a little bit of tank counter picking here. Treating it out my Moan and distance. I'm not convinced by the Sombra on this map. They really just want the most talent focus. We're playing story mode here for GK. Just a full talent comp, full evil man comp, you know.
It's so hard for my Moan to actually get in there. Oh, here comes the Coalescence. Cosmetic ult a lot of the time. Well, here comes the sound barrier from Team Liquid and the window too. Death Blossom on the little column, but it's just not enough. I mean, RuPaul's just on this high ground shooting for free, and then you've got Annihilation to back them up as well.
Yeah.
How can you stay in this fight, Avril? How? Team Liquid have so much sustain. I mean, the Mei, the Ram, RuPaul can survive forever with the help of the Lucio, and it also has Lab. It's so hard for Geekay to lock anybody down.
More swaps to come on through. Lethal now moving over towards the Soj. I'm not really convinced by the composition GK's pulled through here. Running into walls quite literally here, given that Knife is able to do so much. Blizzard available. Good news is a decent number of the characters that GK are playing can move away on that Blizzard. Cage?
Uh-oh. Blizzard on top of the Cage, and Cage deleted. Yeah, I mean, like, what do you do, bro? Like... Geekay just getting owned by this mate.
Frozen, by the way.
Yeah. Cuffer frozen, instantly killed, can't even hit the cardiac overdrive. Like, this is rough.
You also have the major perk that Knife has, which, you know, gets a freeze anyway, which you saw even without the Blizzard. In the previous fight, Cuffer was frozen up, can't just charge away and overrun. EMP available now.
Oh, okay, here you go. You're gonna try kill Knife first. Good little virus connection. Soundbite from Avril hits 3. Still though, looks like Infected. Try to turn this fight around, but a manual hack. Oh, doesn't end up connecting, but it enables Infected to get out of there. Nice boot from Vega. EMP still available. However, as Team Liquid now huddling in a corner, it'll be deadly if Vega gets caught by this. He knows it's coming. He just has to hit the beat at the perfect time. EMP connects, and Vega is hacked. Doesn't get taken down though. A perfect round from RuPaul. Still the Vega holding on to the sound barrier. Steel adamantium mental there from Vega.
And no Coalescence. Ultraviolet was at 99% when the fight broke down. And GK couldn't get much more done there. Team Liquid hold on strong, and they're about to look at 4 ultimates, maybe even 5, once Knife finds the damage. But double support ults, so powerful here. Window, very aggressive.
Oh, this window is crazy. Ultraviolet standing behind it as well. It's not your window, buddy. Ends up heading up to the back line, but the bowler shot is going to connect in Avril. This is where the payload is going to be halted here for Geekay. Team Liquid, you know, sure, we will take that ban first. We don't mind. That Lifeweaver stuff, get that out of here. We're happy playing this. We're happy subbing Knife in, playing the Mei, and absolutely going to town on your front line. Geekay, no answers to the quiz Team Liquid are bringing.
Oh, they're wanting to gamble here in the meta, given the sense that, okay, go to Circuit Royale, go to the obvious Lifeweaver map, but then you don't end up playing it because you defer your ban. Might end up coming to bite them. It's possible that they believe Team Liquid have figured out a counter, and if they were to play the Lifeweaver BAP here, they might lose. However, I still want to believe that if the Lifeweaver BAP starts getting a bit shaky on this map, then you can swap off. To sort of do that preemptively and allow that to be taken off the table immediately before even giving that Lifeweaver BAP a chance on this map that you know that you dominated on previously,
in that first match that we saw between Liquid and GK. This was a strong GK map, and I feel like doing all of this to just eventually get into this first fight, Zarya versus Orisa, great, you found a good opening matchup, but then Infected goes Ram. What's the response? Play the Malga, but we've seen the Malga already on that first map. It struggled a decent amount, and I'm not seeing that much more success now on Circuit Royale with Team Liquid. Super comfortable, Knife looking dominant on the main. All he had to do to counter the Venture, I say counter, but all he had to do was resist the Venture. It's just swap off, get rid of the Sim, play the Mei instead. The Venture's value starts to fall off a little bit, and then GK are stuck. What are GK playing? A very strange comp that we don't really see ever.
Oh, not quite. Yeah, not falling for that one is Tree. A little bit too wise. I mean, the last time they played, it was Geekay, it was their ban first, right? They didn't defer it. They banned Kiriko to protect that support ban. Yep. Very different story here. I'm on the Genji, though, for the defense. Ultraviolet's still on the Moira.
People still on the Reaper here as well. They really want to play this Reaper into the tank line of whatever Infected wants to bring to the table. Which currently is Orisa. And just a down trap. Look at that setup. Infected is chasing GK in the small house inside.
What can they do? What can they do? This Mei is just so powerful, so strong. Geekay ends up walking forward. They end up getting trapped. They get walled off. I mean, UV got kind of dominated there. Used Fade super early, got double tapped by Tree.
Honestly, Tree could really counter this comp even harder if he wants to go to a Sojin. We know Soj farms Malga extremely hard. Just get Therma Rails. The range advantage here also quite nice. Look at the damage on the couple.
He's got free fight damage. He's got ult. And there goes Cuppa. Mate, this is a stop.
Over. I think the map's over. We're not on push, but I might just call it early right now. This is ridiculous. I know they still got some decent distance to push, but we're just not seeing signs of life from GK. This comp is not working out for them. This gamble on Circuit to defer their ban and not allow themselves the opportunity to play life with that is falling apart so quick. 5 minutes, Jack. I mean, that's just a lifetime to Cat B.
Window Terror Surge, and even this Blizzard coming up as well. High ground control for cover. Here comes the Window, cowering now of the rest of Geekay. The lamp ends up coming in, and RuPaul is just dancing around this Window. Johnny, this is like prime Arnie versus a 6th grader in a tug-of-war contest. It's
Johnny
not
ain't
close.
here to help anybody.
Hello there.
Johnny Doobie sitting on the desk right now, watching this one in despair, as I am. Ultraviolet one more time. He was 1% off from getting Coalescence for that fight. It just took place slightly too early. And now the big opportunity, double support ultimates. Here comes the Blade as well. Can it help? Tough it on half already. And there's no
There's the Blizzard. And he got froze out of Coalescence. Blade from Mimo receives the sound barrier at the very least there. Knife ends up going down. That lamp not helping him. Toby Mimo now trying to look for an off angle. But Team Liquid are still fighting on this high ground. They lose Vega, so maybe they think twice now about sticking around. Infected's kind of chill, though. They're happy to reset as 2. Ultraviolet is trying to go for a cheeky angle on the Moira. Had to fade back in the end. But still, on their final lifeline here, look at how close that payload is to that golden box of victory.
And the fact that Cuffle went down, but Liquid couldn't quite collapse and find that victory. GK will survive a little bit longer. Cage will be up next. But look at this window for RuPaul. RuPaul gets a good angle. He can burst that cage down. Reduces effectiveness.
Oh, this window is going to be dirty as well from RuPaul. Every single member of Geekay getting shot out through this window right now. As RuPaul healing everybody too. They're going to end up flipping the map here, and a kill onto cover might just be it. And there it is. Team Liquid just washing over Geekay. There was nothing they could do. What a stomp. What an absolute stomp. Team Liquid, one map away now from taking down Geekay and finding themselves with a spot in the finals.
Cuffer didn't get a cage, by the way, on that entire defense. He ends on 90-something%, no cage. Entirely, unfortunately, mistimed fights coming through as well. Not necessarily from the GK side in terms of their planning, but just couldn't get enough healing or damage done to find ultimates in time. You have a secondary fight before, second to last fight, where, again, I mentioned Coalescence was 1% off. And another fight where Cuffer goes down just before the sound barrier could come through to save, which is very, very tragic. They actually won that fight, funnily enough. So ironically, despite the support ultimates not being there to save Cuffer, still ended up winning the fight. But yeah, I'm not sure if I really have a lot of faith in the Malga. We did see a Malga buff. Korea's played a lot of Malga. I think the Malga win rate, even in Korea, has not been amazing. Really liked what we got initially out of GK. I'm like, okay, cool. It's got to be the Zari into the Orisa, my Moan coming through the Venture versus the Symmetra. This is a great opening composition, but all it took was a couple of swaps on the Liquid side, and then suddenly GK are just stumped. They're like, wait a minute, what do we do now?
Here's a question for you. I'm sure philosophers 1,000 years from now will be debating this one. Do Geekay defer their ban again?
No, surely not. I genuinely believe this is the time now. Go to a King's Row, go to another BAP Lifeweaver map. You don't even need to, you probably do need to protect the BAP, but the Lifeweaver can't be banned again. That's the silver lining, at least. I think GK need to, in this series, at least try the BAP Lifeweaver one time to prove that they can win on it. It would be tragic if they can't win on that one, but it just seems so strange that we're not gonna, through GK's own doing, see that comp come through, which worked so well from there. I'm like, that is their comp. That's the success that they've had in NA that other teams can't replicate and can't succeed on. They're the one team that seems to be able to find the most value on it. Other teams not capable of doing too much against it, and GK themselves are kind of refusing to play. Either they have realized maybe they scrimmed it a bunch and over this past week it just didn't work out for them, they lost confidence in it, but other than that I can't see why they've decided to sort of abandon it.
Kings or New Junk City? That was were the other two maps that they played in the series that they won against Team Liquid in week 4. Runasapi was taken by Team Liquid. Taking control of the ban system again and going, hey, you know, maybe we need to be the guys that ban first because it's our map pick. I think the Tracer ban was a little strange, like you were saying. Team Liquid here probably going to sub in Zera again, I'd imagine, because how good Tracer is currently. And obviously, Tracer can't be banned on Geekay side again.
Which is huge. So yeah, not only was the Tracer ban, at least in my opinion, not that impactful, but you pointed out the more important factor, which is that, well, you can't ban it again on good Tracer maps if you really want to shut down Zera. King's Row, like I said, it's going to come on through. So protect the BAP, get rid of either the Lucio or the Kiriko, one of those two, because that's the staple. Lucio Kiriko currently is a staple for this meta on this patch. If you really want to lock in the BAP Lifeweaver the entire way through to the point where you don't even necessarily want to get off that comp, get rid of the Lucio, because it just makes it even more difficult for Liquid to be able to push into you. If they don't have the speed, they're going to be forced to play on the Juno instead, which we've barely seen Juno in this meta. I'm not too sure Juno's that great in the meta anymore. And no surprises here, Zera coming back.
Yeah, Zera back in, which probably means more Tracer for Team Liquid. Dude, if they take this 3-0, what an incredible week to week it has been for Geekay. I mean, yes, the patch came out, but like we alluded to, the Destas alluded to, you know, Mitch Matt even alluded to, like, the patch has been, it's sizable, but like it's not to the point where it's truly like meta defining, okay, this hero has been deleted, like this hero sucked, like this, it's been, okay, Tracer's better, there's a bit more sustain on Malga and Moira, etc., but like nothing that's going to swing anything too crazy in one way or the other, at least right now. Obviously there might be some broken stuff, maybe Echo's buff seems ridiculous, but like, you know, teams haven't figured that out yet because it hasn't been that long. Yeah, we'll see, because Hazard is also a big pick here for Cuffer, so maybe we see Geekay picking that one up as we go to this map. There's no way they're gonna let Liquid ban again, like you said.
I saw it. It was first ban was Kiriko. Just before it faded away, first ban Kiriko, GK, they did not defer. Teru Prey, they did not defer, so we got that one in there.
And it has a
response. So I did say this previously on, if it's got to be a support protect, the Hazard ban as response is the natural counter. So now GK have to think about what their options are going to be. You can still play the Divia style if you're willing to play Winston. I'm not convinced Winston is going to be good enough on this patch, especially with the reduced healing now. So what options do we have left? I hate to say Malga actually probably is reasonable with Lifeweaver BAP, but I don't know if I believe in the Malga anymore. 2 maps we've seen it from GK, and it just hasn't looked good, man. Especially that last one, like I said, that full defense. Cuffer didn't even get Cage on the full defense played. No Cage, no ultimate, nothing. So what do we really have left? Orisa and a Ram. You just kind of lack this explosivity of the Hazard. So what you really want to do in the Lifeweaver BAP comp is play hyper aggro on the Hazard, 2 bailout options there.
allow your BAP to just be a DPS on the side as well. But just the fact that it's so hard to punish Hazard when Life Grip is available is what makes that comp so good. So GK have to be prepared to come up with an alternative now that Hazard's gone.
I think the Ram, though, is equally as good here. You can still go super aggressive with the Ram, like with Nemesis form, and you don't have to use it as kind of a defensive tool. So, and also, if you think about first point, like where the statue is, and you're like on the point itself, and you're firing through that, and you put your shield down, and then you can like really aggressively push around statue, with no fear, or almost no fear, because you have Life Grip to kind of save you, and Lamp if you really need it. It's going to be a very hard comp to play into. We know this game plan from Geekay. They want to play that backline. We've seen a little bit of like a Lari and whatnot in more pokey styles, but Geekay have got to find, like you said, what has been working for them throughout the stage and throughout even the playoffs, because this is looking dire, and even the audience were like, okay, Geekay are going to win, you know, like 60+% or whatever, thinking Geekay are going to win. And I don't think anybody expected, especially a Circuit Royale, to go that one-sided in Team Liquid's favor. Let's have a look what Team Liquid want to start on the defense, though. Looks like Infected on the Orisa, and then, oh yeah, Vega on the Alari.
I think either team has the capability to win this match, but just maybe the misread of GK's compositions in this particular meta. They really wanted to find out if Malga was going to be the play. They discovered it is not. They finally get to play the Beaver backline. Let's go for a listen to see how they execute this comp.
Orisa's gonna boop you.
Yeah. Orisa what? Orisa what?
Orisa BAP, Lucia.
Sorry, mum.
Bonsi, probably. Oh, Hanzo.
What is this glaze? Yeah, am I Hanzo mirror?
Hanzo Tracer, probably.
I actually might.
I'm just on our top right. There's spear. Yeah, lie back. Ah, I'm done. I'll go back left. Very well, kill me. Get out. Sonic kill. The Sonic right side. I want some space still. I'm walking out. Hurry up. I'm gonna force point in 2, 1. Yeah. I wanna take shot from them. Very Larry and down, headshot coming. Yeah, shooting away.
Alright, up top.
Half was fine.
I'm playing that too.
I want to take the prize.
Already half. 100 okay.
I can pressure the people hotel in a sec. Dre, yeah.
Yeah, I can go hotel.
Larry's here looking at me, I can pressure the.
One.
Oh yeah.
Alright, go.
Try, man.
Wait, still one.
Can we have some point? Top point.
On the top left.
I moved down. I'm walking point now.
I can shoot that.
Trainer.
I can shut up as well.
Ursa behind me.
Nice.
Alright, go.
No, okay. No cooldown.
Go left.
I click Iron Man in a sec.
You gotta start relying me. Come me.
Thanks.
I'm on Iron Man.
Hands are halfing window. It's Sonic me again.
Alright.
Ursa gonna drop me soon.
Hands up left.
Hands are going left, care.
I see the top one.
All right, a lot more hands than I thought we'd ever see, I'm going to be honest with you. But it's been a small showing every now and then, I guess, suppose, on King's Row. High ground control from RuPaul, though. It's going to be a hard point to take now for Geekay as they back off. No shots. Copper stays around there.
Opening shot from Lethal was pretty lethal onto Ultraviolet, and the response now by Moan. Recall being shown up. RuPaul collects it. Defense is still on. It's contested.
Oh, come on, bro.
Retake coming on through.
UV cheating with that one. UV cheating with that lamp. That's all I'm saying. Hands on the high ground for Lethal 2. He's got that Dragon Strike straight through the point. It's a lot of chip damage. Yep, Zera falls down. Should be Geekay's map, or sorry, just the point, not the map. Don't want to go too ahead of myself.
2 kills on a Dragon Strike, though, is mega value. Hanzo, of course, this is one of the few maps where Hanzo can find value. It's small and choky enough that Dragon Strike is going to land in a couple of kills at least. It's going to be incredibly good zoning. So, not the worst choice here. We do see some Pharah sometimes come through in a King's Row, and you sort of called this one, but without a hazard for GK, the response is going to end up with Kappa on the Ram, punching his way through in the front line. Annihilation now. Ready to go. No support ultimates at all for GK.
Yeah, Vega getting away from the Alari, probably best, especially in the streets phase. Like you said, the Dragon Strike could be kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. Oh, good kill on Trito. A neutral hour there, and Limon with the finish. He even forces Lamp, too, from RuPaul. Jump of all with Zera real quick as he misses the pulse bomb, but a lot of pressure on this point still. Dangerous space for the Tracer to be there without a recall, especially against a BAP. And even... Oh, Limon! Wait a second! Connects on the high ground? Okay. The Welsh Dragon strikes again.
My own heard Tracer was good again, and he's back in action. Double balls bomb kill.
Beast.
Zera gets shut down by Ultraviolet. We didn't even get a chance to get that Dragon Strike from Tree. We'll have to come through now, be very, very strong on the retake at minimum, but denying the BAP, denying the window. RuPaul just couldn't even get that playthrough due to Mimona. Now Cuppa still with Annihilation. This is fantastic for Capping B.
Annihilation is going to be so good, like you said. He's really hard for Infected to step up. Every cooldown here from Infected is going to be crucial to make sure he stays alive. Dragon Strike launched out by Tree. Does clear cover for the time being, but rips the Annihilation as soon as that Dragon Strike dissipates. Tree starts off the fight, though, with a kill onto Mimone. Those Storm Arrows connecting with the Tracer as Cuppa shields off the heals from Infected, but it's such a small shield. So it's very easy for Infected to kind of sidestep that. Now Zera trying to push on the high ground members of Geekay right now with the Pulse Bomb in his hands. This could be explosive. But now it looks like Geekay, for at the very least, slowing this one down as Lethal and Mimone are out of the fight.
Just a brilliant shot from Tree to start things out with him. Getting another kill onto Mimone here. And despite double ultimates being played on through GK, the Annihilation plus window combination not landing them enough kills to really find the potential it can't be. They were so close. They were just on the precipice. Just the numbers still in favor of Team Liquid, and they got to push up to this one as Lethal swaps over to the Cass. Wanting to put a bit more pressure onto Infected's Orisa, maybe even prepping for the fact that they are planning to camp B, and Cass will have a little bit of potential better gameplay on C.
Zera, sneaky beaky like. Can hear the large stomping of the boots there at the Cassidy. Takes a small chunk out of Ultraviolet, but yeah, decides against the Lethal is right around the corner waiting for him.
Money for Tree. Tree play on payload. Should be a good one. The good ultimates in response for Liquid. Note that the Dragon Strike's gonna be back. Basically 5 ults. Look at Liquid. They just farmed up.
Zera's struggling, man. Struggling to find a way into this fight. Got hindered, had to recall, and now has to play safe. Can't go for a risky pulse bomb kill, or maybe one onto Ultraviolet, but yeah, Infected caught off guard. Lethal just shooting that giant head. Sound barrier comes in from Vega. This might be what they need, in fact. Didn't end up getting Infected, of course, like you said, but hey, all good. RuPaul ends up cleaning up the fight. 60 seconds to go now for Geekay.
Just a massive ult advantage there. 5 ultimates for Team Liquid. And the window beautifully played by RuPaul to delete the tree. I mean, we were waiting for the tree to be the opening for GK. That was what was going to buy them into the fight. They got to give up on the Life Weaver comp now. This is going to be Lucio back for it, but the potential final fight, they might not can't be with this one. Annihilation window, again, the combination for GK, and this time it's got to work out for them because Team Liquid don't have a response. Previously, Tree at least had an ultimate coming on in.
Wait, Lethal's dead?
Tree's got another one.
Tree gets another first pick onto Geekay's front line. Infected on this high ground too, and Cuff is just getting dominated, absolutely owned in that corner. Has to pop the Annihilation to even just stay alive. Now trying to chase the rest of Team Liquid, but unable to do so. The speed boost there from Vega looked too good, but a high ground control window from Ultraviolet ends Infected's life. Tree gets another kill, but the staying power of Geekay right now a little too evident for Team Liquid. Yeah, there's no shot they stay around here for much longer. Kill onto Vega. And Zero with no recall, that'll do it. But in OT, Geekay pushed to the very brink there just to cap point 2.
Tree got 2 kills there, but the opening frag so impactful. Lethal down. You just can't afford that again. Remember, the last successful B retake for Team Liquid was Tree getting my moan down. And the 4v5 didn't work out for GK. Thankfully, they were able to get Infected to enable them to cap. No Infected makes the retake extremely difficult. So the Dragon Strike available for Tree, so staying on the Hanzo for the time being.
Some of these arrows, man, they're making my heart leap. I'm not lying. Ultraviolet like pops up real quick, and I can see Tree just pre-aiming. Dragon Strike's going to clear a little bit of space, and this Mega Health Pack is going to be quite nice for Geekay to kind of hold on to here, but looks like Mimone is going to have to let go of that one. Cover dead, though. Window used, and Team Liquid, they're going to hold here for now.
The reset quickly, 40 seconds remaining to play through. Beat coming online, both teams. UV onto window as well. It's another window annihilation combo as Lethal moves over towards the Soj. What will be our final fight here? GK, be a miracle to finish this cap. They don't have a lot of payload distance. With OT spawns, they might be able to push this one through. And if you stagger correctly onto Team Liquid, it is still winnable. But Team Liquid likely will have 2 fights here.
Tree feeling like Thanos right now, bro. It's like actually inevitable. At one point, he's going to get a random log both sound barriers used, but Admiral's sound barrier only connects with 3 members of Geekay right now, and a very defensive use of this window. Looks like Infected decides, I'm just going to walk through it. I'm golden. All good. And now a staggered push onto the point. Cuppa has got Annihilation, but that's the only survivability tool Geekay have left on this point right now. So the focus fire from Team Liquid is just so simple. Lethal ends up going down to the hands of Infected, and Mymone ends up killing RuPaul. But Cuppa is alone on the point. No chance to help the rest of his team, but his team actually don't need it.
One more potential fight here. Like I said, staggered respawns could be really massive. Huge kill from Zero. That will impact the fight, because if you get a full respawn, it's going to be massive. With Zero going down, GK may still have good numbers.
Touch, you got to touch.
Trying to touch.
Nice boop. Can they get back? No, the boop is too good from Admiral. Heroics there at the very end from Mymone, taking down Ultraviolet, but the boop from Admiral saves the day. A third point completion
as well.
from
Zero
DK.
is still alive. Zero is still alive. He has the potential to touch. He can stall a little bit longer, allow the respawns from GK to regroup. The final Doom swap coming through from Infected to play in that final fight. I mean, things could go very poorly. Zero going down there means that it has to be the touch coming through from Vega. He's booped away. And in the final dredges of this attack, it'll be GK completing. But my goodness, it really was GK just dragging their feet across the finish line, wasn't it? Because it was a struggle the entire way through. Tree on this Hanzo, really showing off what he's capable of. We haven't seen a lot of Hanzo recently. This is the one map where Hanzo can get played. And Tree, he knows it and he performs.
I mean, the pick hasn't been meta since when? Like, the Grab Dragon meta, I suppose?
Dragon, yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, has appeared every now and then on King's Row, just how the map is laid out. Like, very short corridors, very easy, like, spam points for Storm Arrow. Even took Scatter Arrow, I believe, there as well, which is a true throwback.
So, something funny about Tree and Logs, you know, kind of works out.
Kind of. So true. Wait, I didn't put that 2 and 2 together. Hang on. There's a joke there. It's building. We'll be right back. Yep. All right, we'll see if Tree...
Forestation joke.
Deforestation joke. Love those. Tree's got to stick on this again, man. Like, if you're... I feel like Hanzo especially, kind of like Widow in a way, if you're on one, you're on one, you know? If you're hitting shots, you're hitting shots. You're just going to be so consistent throughout the entire map. So, I like this pick a lot.
As we consider all the off angles here, though, you have Lethal on so probably his best pick overall. As Ultraviolet does eat one of those body shot logs to start things out with GK. Want to give this life move back another go. I think it is probably better defensively anyway.
I'm trying to look at Tree like a lot of the time here, trying to force him off of these angles. It's been kind of tough. You see Lethal trying to hold down the fort on the high ground. I mean, honestly, if Tree gets high ground, it's over, I think. Even Mymone kind of harassing the back line right now, but RuPaul a little bit too high up. Although saying that.
Still coming through. Not high enough for Mymone. That's 6 damage now. 0.5 extra. Will give Mymone the capability to take down RuPaul no matter what. And Infected will fall next.
All right, okay, good start from Geekay. They need this. They really do. I mean, Liquid right now 2-0 in this series with Geekay fumbling the last couple of maps.
Composition might actually give Mymone the capability to play super aggressive as well. Life Rip just bailing anyone out long range. Holding the lamp for Cuffer. The ultimate's online. Look at the ult difference as well, especially UV versus RuPaul.
Massive. He's waiting.
Here we go.
Oh, yep. Can't use the window right now. Has to back off. Maybe use it main. Helping Lethal a little bit more. Looks like UV's just transitioned completely. Oh, was that a stick onto Mymone?
Yeah, recalled.
I think it might have been, yeah. Mymone ended up hitting the recall. Tree Terror Surge. Oh, lifted up into the sky. No damage dealt by Infected. Beautiful play by Admiral. Negating that ultimate entirely. Lethal under a heavy duress on the high ground, though, as Vega ends up taking him down. Tree ends up getting taken out, or, expiring. They still got high ground control to Team Liquid, but this is not looking pretty right now, I will say.
What is happening on the high ground? It's got to be Cuffer popping Annihilation, maybe clean up a couple members up there. It's double support's gone for Team Liquid, but a huge tool off the belt for GK. I'm not too sure if that was really necessary from Cuffer. I feel like you really want these Annihilations in big fights. But Vega is going to have this tempo beat coming through as well. Now he doesn't have to counter the Annihilation. Team Liquid absolutely looking to make a fast play.
Oh, nice shot onto Vega. Thankfully, Vega wasn't cast in the sound barrier there. Thankfully. Good start, though, for GK again in these fights. If it's not Tree on Liquid side, it's Lethal on the other. Good overclock, and only a minute to go.
Speaking of which, Tree, a little bit quiet. We're not seeing these early kills come through. Give me the advantage. This 5v4 is working out so well for Team Liquid previously. Tempo Big still has to be the play here. There's nothing to counter the GK side, so it's up to Vega to pull the trigger and get Liquid into the fight.
Coffee is one, man. He's so low right now. Nymo trying to look for a pulse bomb, ends up throwing it a little bit wide. Never RuPaul super low, forced to use that to use the lamp. But Tree ends up using the Dragon Strike. It destroys deployables now. That was an addition from a couple of patches ago. So that lamp dies along with UV. And here it is. Liquid finally get it popping. They're going to get this point.
Dragon Strike onto UV. Animal dies before Tree is available. And finally the 5 versus 4. It does come from Tree, not through. Random picks on towards the logs or the storm arrows, but it will be the ultimate instead. And then finally the Tempo Big 5-man catch, and teams looking happily walk onto point, get the cap onto the GK. Now they need to save Cuff here if possible. Should be able to get him. He's nearly onto Annihilation as well, and Admiral's back with the pull when ready.
Lethal's so scared peeking his corners. Nice preemptive shield though by Cover on the high ground. Stops Tree getting random logs, although now looking for Mimo. Zera can see all these players as well. Nice little Sonic arrow giving him a lot of free information. It actually sticks Lethal in the backline. Annihilation, Tree, pops by Geekay. That's a heavy investment. And that Tree, and even the Annihilation gets absolutely nothing there as Tree takes down Mimo. It's going to be an easy push now through this Tree space.
I've seen so many times, Tree comes down with a window, just enough damage to blow up the Tree. Team Liquid are not going to be held at all. I mean, they were at risk of potentially being full held on this map, which would be a huge comeback for GK in the series. And now, game is suddenly on, but time is limited. Look, not a lot to get through B. Plenty of opportunity for GK to still hold this one. Now with the window advantage for UV. Do mind that the Dragon Strike can counter this as well. Put down the window, Dragon Strike instantly in your face, preventing you from getting value.
Got to be scared now. If I was Geekay's frontline, this Dragon Strike can really put you in an awkward spot. Speaking of which, isn't it? What is that? Okay, well, distracted completely there with a window from Ultraviolet in the backline, of all things, for Team Liquid. Nice initial kills, 60 seconds to go. A familiar sight for both teams on King's Row. Lethal doesn't end up getting taken down by RuPaul as the push continues for Team Liquid.
OWB coming online as our Team Liquid have so much to play through. GK down a member. I don't think they're going to hold on very long when Team Liquid Tempo beat this one through for the victory.
Yeah, looks like it. Connects to 4 as well. And Cub's in the wrong angle. He's in the wrong spot to help the rest of his team. Basically alone. Life Grip saves Ultraviolet for a fraction of a second, but Admiral and UV are going to get taken down. A 4v2, never a sight you want to see is your backline. And this Annihilation is going to do some damage. In fact, it does end up going down. As Lethal now hiding on this corner. It's okay. Emoting to get some like 3D peek around the corner. But it should end up falling. I say should. There it is. There's a kill onto RuPaul as the payload is going to get pushed.
Just no healing. Cuffer did a great job there with Lethal to play through the last 2 members. My moan for the touch, but they just don't have a tank. Cuffer needs to be there right now. I don't think they can stop B. Tree's being deployed, but barely they made it in for the touch.
Pulse bomb for Zera as well. Nice little stick on the top of the pedal platform as Avril ends up going down. Nice little double blink from Zera 2, helping you Infected destroy that lamp and take down Ultraviolets. Now Geekay slowly bleeding out. This Wrecking Ball is going to be so hard to take down. No chance for a C9 either. Not with the amount of players for Team Liquid alive on that point. And they live to tell the tale as well. Another 1 minute and 30 seconds in the time bank as both Team Liquid and Geekay, just by the skin of their teeth, capping these points.
Yeah, but GK may be spending a bit too much that they really wanted to lock in for this retake. They put the tree in there. We saw the OC, we saw the Annihilation earlier. There is a world if they just allow B to be capped, play through an ult advantage for this now 130 time bank that Team Liquid have to play through. It's not a lot of time to actually cap, but it will be just enough if you have an ult advantage, which RuPaul and Vega do. Ultraviolet is about to catch up. He's going to need this one.
Oh, that was a sad dash there from Lethal. Taking the double dash, so harder to get to the high ground, of course. Window on the high ground now for RuPaul, trying to space these ultimates out now, Avril. There's a tree under a little bit of pressure, but here comes the window from Ultraviolet, but Team Liquid, they have the perfect response. Dragon Strike, Sound Barrier, and now they make their move. They push into the backline, force Geekay away from their own window as Infected tries to make as much space as humanly possible.
Final fight. Cover might be able to survive this one. Lethal, huge pick.
And Ultraviolet on the high ground as well ends up taking down Tree. A nice little grip onto Cover saves his life. 16 seconds to go, and Geekay, they might have just done this. There's going to be a final desperation touch here from Team Liquid and a post bomb from Zera that gets nothing. Vegas going to come in on the Lucio, but he's going to get taken down before he even gets the touch. An overclock to sing in Lethal's hands as Geekay, they're not out of the series just yet as they take us to a map 4.
There it is. When they play what they are known for, their signature composition, they start finding value even up against Tree, who was getting so much done on that Hanzo, but as a reminder, did slow down a little bit on that offensive side. A was nearly a full hold. I think that is ultimately where Team Liquid struggled the most, couldn't find enough time to play through for the rest of the map. A couple of really spicy moments towards the end there, some very desperate retake attempts coming through from Geekay, where they're just throwing in these ultimates and truly at risk of potentially running out of resources to get their final defense in there. But when push comes to shove, respawn advantage comes through from you, defender backs against the wall on C. You start to see that first pick come through. I believe it was on Lethal as well, and then not enough ultimates despite having an advantage for Team Liquid to be able to push on through, and Cuppa even finishes with an annihilation that he doesn't have to pop. Massive stuff from GK to turn this one around.
Map 4, I knew it couldn't end with a 3-0 Avril. I just knew it. I knew it in my bones. I felt it. This was going to be at least 4 maps. And Geekay coming alive, and they kind of needed to. That Circuit Royale was not pretty. And another thing is worth pointing out. That third point with the BAP Lifeweaver is so disgusting. Like, it plays kind of like Circuit first in the way that you can play those high grounds, save your RAM if he's in trouble with the grip. It's very easy to play around the pedal platform as well. Nice stuff from Geekay to keep themselves in the series. Couple extra deaths there over Team Liquid, but a very close game. Every single point was basically capped in OT as well.
Yeah, I think for both teams on both sides, really scared that the series was going to go 3-0. Like you said, I think, you know, every time I'm on NA or EMEA, it just might be my curse. I just bring 3 zeros. I think Rose's curse is the C9s. We all know that one. My one might be the 3-0s, but today, not going to be the case. Really nicely played map. I believe that if GK were going to have an opportunity to play their composition, they were going to find some level of success on there. So surprised they didn't do it on Circuit, but glad to see it on Kings.
It's worth keeping in mind, though, these next few maps, BAP Lifeweaver a little bit more awkward. We're going to give the teams a couple of minutes, though. We're going to jump to a quick break. Map number 4, and Geekay on that road to a reverse sweep. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a sec. Okay, map number 4. My face went. I defer bans twice, and we lose both those maps. Geekay end up banning first on their map pick of Kings Row and take the dub. Pretty close, though. A very nail-biting one. Avril, every single point going to OT. Runasapi up next as Team Liquid ban the Ram. Geekay ban the Cass.
Ram gone means basically going to be playing Orisa here, and Cass gone means they want to make sure that it's not going to be Cass's blowing up Orisa's just by shooting heads over and over again. Going to take this one over to a Soj duel, maybe a Freya duel. I mean, more likely with Soj, definitely, or Lethal. Tree has played both. I think Tree might actually prefer Freya potentially, but there is the capability. I hate to invoke it, but Malga could be back here.
Sure.
Please hold Malga. Hazard has actually...
Please.
It is... No! But Hazard is maybe okay here for a couple. We really haven't seen the Hazard yet, but this to me is just a really strong Orisa map. And the Hazard is going to come through. I was also going to mention, like, something that is good news from GK is, you know, at this point, they can probably play BAP Lifeweaver pretty cleanly without worrying about bans, but at the same time, we just don't have the maps for it anymore. We have Runasapi, maybe New Junk City after this one. This is going to come down to really winning through the Hazard, really winning through the Orisas, which Infected wants to do. And Cuffer, his special is the Hazard.
There it is. He's been banned out this series already, so pretty chill for this map to bring that up. Very quick backline too. You want to see my moan pop off here against Zera. It's been a bit even so far. You definitely take Zera on the Tracer over my moan, but my moan's flexibility has been nothing short of marvelous at this stage.
By the way, because there's no cast, it's going to increase the importance of the Tracer in this matchup. We've also moved away from Brig now with how good Lucio is currently in this match. So there's nothing to really stop the Tracers. If Zera can find an opportunity to pop off here, it's going to be hard for GK to stop.
Geekay, I feel like they need these fights to be explosive too. Orisa's so good at like locking down space and like kind of walking with the payload. Like Geekay need picks. They need to be in there, out there. Okay, there you go. Just like that. They need to like get somebody, and then Infected is kind of left on a little bit more of an island. Maimon, 2 HP. Managed to get recall off, but nah, it's all good. Vega's going to clean him up, but unfortunately, while they were paying attention to the Tracer, the rest of their team has died.
Cleanup coming through from GK. Clean stuff from Admiral. First push coming on in. It looked from Kuffer on the Hazard, who took down Tree, by the way, in the middle of all that. That actually might have been, I remember correctly, the first or potentially the second kill, really giving GK the opportunity to find advantages. Maimon, plenty of damage, currently leading over Zero by just a small margin. Gonna threaten Cap now.
Connection. Okay. No insta-kill. Not from that distance. Be a little bit of a miracle if that were to come. Very tough spot to be in now if you EK. Oh! There you go. Alright. Explosive damage is enough. Fight's over.
Very strange to see fights really taking place on that water wheel side. I think it's quite rare for teams to even look on that part of the map. GK finding themselves in a weird spot.
Tracer angle.
Yeah, right. I mean,
how do you flank it?
How do you have your whole team there? It's a very strange look, but it is the bounce back treat. A part of that one, but largely Zero in play. Talked about the window advantage still there for UV before RuPaul gets the last 10%.
Oh, this window is aggro. Yeah, Infected just walks away from that one. Easy as you like. Spiked Wall ends up coming in from Kuffer to try and trap the Orisa, but Ultraviolet explodes in the back line. Quick retreat from Kuffer, knowing that the support isn't necessarily going to be there, only from April at this moment in time, but WMIMO doing a lot of heavy lifting right now, but doesn't want to get in front of this window. RuPaul very tentative to move forward, knowing Kuffer's right around the corner, and yeah, there you go, Team Liquid, and then getting wiped on the point.
I don't know how I feel about RuPaul pulling through the window there. That just seems a little bit too much. They had 3 alive, and by the time the window came on through, realistically just 2 alive. Window doesn't really see anything. He's going to swap over. Was the Kiriko? That's probably why he ended up using it. Lucio Kiriko. That seemed to be a bit of a staple across the regions, particularly in North America, though.
This ends now.
Overlord. Okay. Don't really want to shoot the Orisa. Sound barrier, though, is going to help Lethal ascend to this high ground, hopefully find some picks, but UV is dead again. Infected takes him down, and here comes the downpour. Tree caught off guard as Kuffer finds a 2K. There's now Geekay really controlling the tempo of this map so far.
Yeah, I mean, 51 meters to 24. It's not an insane lead, but it just goes to show that you mentioned the tempo looking strong. Late death now onto Infected as well, potentially. Gotta start getting him down, because you've lost Lethal. This can get a little bit nasty if you don't get the cleanup. This is just going to allow the cap to come in. I don't think Liquid can really contest it without the attack.
Really nice fight to win there, because the bot didn't even move that much. Like, yeah, that's a checkpoint. The Trace is going to be here, but Zera is forced to recall super early, put the spike wall up, and there it is. Geekay with the first cap.
Looking forward to seeing what Vega and Infected do with this one. Tempo beat, availability is going to be there. Tracking the beat usage from Admiral. They know that Admiral used it a while ago. Maimon forced a recall from the Bolt.
Samurai coming in from Vega before. Unfortunately, Tree is already dead, so can't supplement his health bar any longer. They're getting jumped on by 2 members of Team Liquid right now, but standing on that lamp is going to help him out for a brief second. Looks like he potentially stepped out of it. That range being a bit iffy sometimes when it's like placed on top of an object. Good kill on Maimon, but still, Geekay, they're going to be happy with this push. Like, they've gotten checkpoint. They can reset in the mid with these forward spawns.
Yeah. Tree also swapping over towards the Soj here as well, just kind of feeling the pressure. Been killed a lot on that Freya and struggling to find double bolts to enable his team. And Lethal, we know that he was going to play the Soj. Kind of teed this one up earlier that both Soj and Freya viable. Tree has been more willing to play the Freya. GK now have their own double support ultimates online. RuPaul's been waiting. Remember, this was at least a fresh Kiriko pick. Finally, Junior Rush is going to be there.
Slowly but surely trying to reconvene in this like choke point. Zera really doesn't want to use recall too early, and here comes the beats. Oh, got a wall to deal with first, but RuPaul ends up going down. A straight shooter is Lethal. That's an instant kill onto RuPaul through that window. as Geekay really they're taking over this one. Honestly, if you're them at this stage in the game, you're kind of pissed with yourselves. You're kind of mad, I'd imagine. Losing a Circuit Royale like that, Avro, and even that control round, those control rounds as well. One of them, not one-sided, 99 to 100%, but the other one, 100 to 0. There's got to be a fire that's lit in their bellies, just pushing them forward now. Because they want to take this to a map number 5. They want to just continue their streak in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're still 4 minutes to play through. The good news for Team Liquid is that the lead isn't far enough that this is not a loss just yet. Lethal.
This is a cheeky angle. Double shot to RuPaul. RuPaul down. Downpour used, forcing the Sojourn to slide away as Tree gets taken out by My Moan. This is win on top of win on top of win for Geekay right now. They force ult out of Team Liquid and also continue their lead 80+ meters.
Lethal has to come back from spawn though. That's the problem. It's a 5v4 right now. Liquid need to push the go button and prevent the regrouping of GK, and they can take control of the bot, prevent the loss. It's going to stop at 91. Short of 100 here, and Liquid, they farmed up ultimates. Important time now to be able to use these ultimates sparingly though. You can't burn the ball at the same time to finally get this cap themselves.
Oh, what a stick. Good Suzu though from RuPaul coming in, saves Tree's life. Good shot on Avril. Stayed there for about 2 frames too long. Team Liquid win quite a convincing fight. They're going to need a couple more of them, though. They still need to take that checkpoint.
It's cheap as well, though. They only use OC for that. This is what I'm talking about. To be able to make this comeback happen now, about a 60-ish meter gap, 55, 56 meters. Have to be conservative with your ultimates. A single OC to win that one, traded from ult spawn. Makes it ult economy good. Now you can start looking to spend heavier. You're on the side of the map where you're actually gaining meterage. Spending ults to convert to meters is how you're going to make the comeback happen.
Gotta be scared though, because Ultraviolent's got another window. Zera taking down My Moan, good start, but this winner's gonna be a pain to deal with. And Team Liquid have got ultimates if they choose to use them. They could even beat into the backline right now. A bulk storm from Zera goes wide. Nice little jump there from UV and strafing, or air strafing with that perk, enabling him to get out of the way, and there is checkpoint for Team Liquid.
Oh, Vegas, so careful. They will get the kill from
the backline as well. Yeah, this is Geekay kind of losing control of this fight now, and Team Liquid, again, another cheap fight, but it's flipped this time around. This is only a Pulse, only a Terror Surge. They got both support ultimates for this next one.
Here we go. This is the important fight now. They win this one, they will get the flip. Double support ultimates with only a beat to save them. On the GK side of things, it's going to have to be heroics from the DPSs, maybe cover off the use of this beat. Cannot afford somebody to go down early here. Where's the touch? Flip's about to come on through.
They're going to try and get the one clip on the Tracer first. Zera ends up hitting that recall anyway. Sound barrier from Apple does end up hitting 3, but a nice sound barrier from Liquid hits 5. Lethal taken down. These DPS from Geekay not quite standing up to the test. No one's coming out. No one's going out. Okay, there we go. Eventually cover does end up falling. The flip is going to come through. That pulse bomb not finding any purchase either for My Moan, as Team Liquid, with an overwhelming ultimate bank, ends up finding the flip with 1 minute and 10 to go.
They play perfectly. They have all 5 alive as well. That means they can continue pushing, and it's going to be another 5v5. GK will probably have to spend up big to actually counter this. Wouldn't be surprised if GK are going to get desperate enough to start burning every ult that they have. Downpour first. OC actually is going to be number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid decided that's fine. We'll back off and we can survive. We can maybe fight around this checkpoint. The overclock's gone. It's been used already. They're going to have to invest something else or find miracle picks. Tree in the backline, though, uses the no-C. However, that lamp is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse for him to deal with, but it's all good. Still manages to take it out, and this distraction technique from Team Liquid's DPS, just splitting the fight up completely. But the real damage dealer right now on Team Liquid is RuPaul. He's taking down 2, maybe even a 3rd for the Kiriko. 25 seconds to go, and Team Liquid still extending their lead.
Yeah, once the OT hits, GK is going to start from this spawn. That's going to make the comeback extremely difficult. Look, Team Liquid have to back on out. They lost enough members there, but they have to regroup. They're not going to have 5 alive. The most important thing is payload positioning in the OT. 30-meter gap, still clearable. It is still winnable from GK. They just have to play perfectly now to be able to contest.
Good Universe in a good position for Zera to make good use of it. Terror Surge ends up coming in, sucking in at Ultraviolet, as he does end up going down despite using that window. Zera is just going to just tear them limb from limb now as Team Liquid. They've got all the ults in the world, man. They've got Sound Barrier, they've even got a Pulse Bomb. Right now, it's just Zera on the point, trying to fight against Avril and my Moan. The Sound Barrier only connects to his cover, just barely hanging on to life. Same with Avril, eventually chased down as Team Liquid knock down GK and deliver them their first loss in Stage 2.
Oh boy, Team Liquid firing up at just the right time, qualifying into the grand final. They want to be North America's first seed going to the mid-season championship, and Team Liquid, a team that struggled in Stage 1, didn't even make China, didn't even qualify to the major. This time, not only are they going to the major, but looking like potentially the strongest team as well. Perfect macro in the second half of that Runasapi. Bit of a struggle earlier on. Tree couldn't find value on the Freya. The swap over to the Kiriko as well starts to give Team Liquid a bit more tempo to play through, and eventually, after a very defensive game, losing bot control, getting shoved into their spawn, they find the ultimates and they play through conservatively, understanding how to macro your way through, play through these ultimates, and eventually find advantage in the fights that matter on the other side of the map to then put yourselves in a winning position on Runasapi. But the first two maps as well look really good for Team Liquid. A lot of questions to be asked about GK in terms of their decision making, particularly how, you know, the double defer of the bans, probably more egregious on that second map. The unwillingness to play through the back of the life. We were taking some risks in there, putting themselves down to an 0-2, forcing yourself into a reverse sweep only scenario. That's gotta be tough. So they didn't really give themselves enough of a chance, I feel.
Team Liquids, the heroes everybody wanted as Geekay, they lose their first series of Stage 2 as they knock them down to the lower bracket, and Team Liquid securing themselves that spot in the grand finals. They are looking good, and it feels like only up from here. I mean, RuPaul in that final fight, or the second to last final fight, sorry, kills 3 despite both DPS dead. Like, insane stuff from an Overwatch League winner. We're going to jump over the desk. They can break it down as Team Liquid. Shocking not only us, but I'd imagine the rest of them as well.
Yeah, I gotta be real with you guys. This one's a bit of a head scratcher. Lots of questions this one leaves us with, especially regarding some of the pages of the playbook from GK. The deferring of the bans and whatnot. Just not quite sure. I would have loved for them to win the series so we could have an opportunity to talk to one of the players and maybe shed some light. Perhaps we get the opportunity to talk to them tomorrow. For now, though, let's talk about how Team Liquid got it done. Heading into this match, we were talking about, should they change something up? Do we want to see them change something up? Johnny, you're happy? All good? Team Liquid? Any more questions? Any answers? Like,
Rich,
roller coaster of emotions.
Rich, you talk about me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here's the guts. I know.
I got some.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. I'm gonna just express my roller coaster of emotions that I felt going in this, because I said really at the start before this match that, you know, it's a well-oiled machine. Everything about, you know, what we saw, it's baffling. But again, when it comes to Geekay, like, I mean, even both Jaws and Avril, they said, like, there was this, like, constant swapping, this variation. We're on this map specifically where Knife came in and was doing so well and really shutting them down, and it was just, I think it was, what, 5 or 6 different hero rotations that happened throughout that map specifically. There was some attempt here to try and turn things around, moving into King's Road, did very well, especially when pushing through that Streets phase towards the tail end of it. They really were able to latch onto it and be able to put forth a very different type of performance. But as we continue to go through this and really start to see in this last map here, it just really started to fall short. It was about neutral, and then realistically it just falls apart, and I'm just in such a state of perplexity that it's hard for me to put together like a solid statement of why. And even like you were mentioning, going back to us right now, like the passing off of the bans and allowing that to happen on multiple occasions, like the rhyme, the reason, I'm, you know, just flabbergasted.
Okay.
Now it's to you as I'm just swirling here.
Yeah, it's not quite like not believing in the moon landing, but are we sure that they weren't hiding strats for those maps, like deferring the ban twice and saying like, maybe we'll store like a tank ban, maybe we'll store, you know, maybe we'll let them ban Life Weaver on Circuit Royale. and just have that saved in case we ever fight in the grand finals again. It's just a mild conspiracy. It's just mild. I'm not saying that was the case. I'm just presenting
it's
it.
not really a
as
showcase
an
of
alternate.
like believing in your strats then though. If you feel like they're only gonna work once and that will be in the
Or
grand
you believe in it
final.
so much that you're like...
Or
that
you
you're
hope
like,
that
oh,
Team Liquid is going to lose against Nightmare, and then I don't know what kind of chess they were playing.
know what I'm saying.
I love your approach here, Johnny. A little creative, a little out there. Why not?
I'll touch on that.
How about we talk to an actual pro player? You know, Johnny, your best days are over. Let's talk to someone who's in the nitty gritty of it all. I'm just so nice to you. We have Vega joining us for a quick chat. Congratulations, you guys have secured your spot for the mid-season championship, and also, of course, you are now moving on here in the playoffs. What did you make of what we've seen from your opposition here? Because for all of us, it was a bit of a head scratcher to see them defer the bans twice in a row. How do you read into that? What do you think their approach was?
I don't know. I think they were trying to catch us off guard with that, like Manga Comp. To be honest, like no teams in practice were playing it, so I mean, I just think they were trying to catch us off guard. And I think what they want to do is have like 2 comps that they can play. They can play like that Manga Comp, and then they can also play like the Map Life Weaver. I feel like they want to like make those 2 comps their strength.
So with them trying to make that the strength, and again, you have this chance to being able to see them again, do you feel with the 2 teams now that they're going to go in the lower bracket tomorrow, which one would you prefer to go against, just out of your perspective and the way that you guys have kind of developed over the course of this week going into tomorrow?
Honestly, I want to play against Geekay again because I want to beat them in the grand finals, but I wouldn't mind playing Nightmare. I think actually the lower bracket match, I think it's going to be like super evenly, like I think it's like super even playing field. I think Nightmare and like Geekay they can both win. I think there's a favorite there.
So I feel like it's fairly on point to say that this is the best Liquid has looked all year. Obviously, maybe a bit of a disappointment not qualifying for Champions Clash. You know, this stage were a rough couple of matches to start you guys off, but you've just improved week after week, and now to the point where you just qualified for the Grand Finals in Stage 2. You already have your ticket for Mid-Season Championship. Just talk me through, like, what this year has been like for you, and at what point do you feel like, all right, we're clicking, we're feeling good, and now we're feeling like we're playing our best Overwatch?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like recently the matches have been feeling a lot better. I mean, like, I think a lot of people are getting less nervous in matches. That whole match I was actually really happy about because I think everyone was super calm and like collected, and I think that really helped us like move forward. And usually, like, when things like that click, they stay clicked. Like when I was on Toronto, we had like some very iffy matches. Like I remember we would go 3-2 versus Timeless, and eventually like it just clicked and we became like really good, and that just makes you like the most clutch team.
Yeah, and that's why you find yourself in the grand finals now. I hope you can finish on that high note tomorrow as well. We can't wait to see you and the team back in action. For now, we're going to let you go. But once again, congratulations and thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. And also shout out the fans who watch my stream. Much love to them.
That's right. Go support Vega and Vega's stream if you want to see more.